You're listening to Learn How to Podcast with Natascha Moy and the power of podcasting. Today I want to talk a little bit about the tile creation for your podcast. Now that is the little square that you will find on every single podcast that you would come across on iTunes. It's really important that you make sure that the artwork is absolutely perfectly right because you want to be discoverable on iTunes and you want to be able to upload it and be verified and accepted by iTunes when you actually start your podcast. You can't be accepted by iTunes unless you actually have an episode up. So you need to create that tile up front. And I have had some difficulty in the past where I've created it to their exact specifications and it seems it's been rejected over and over and over again. What I've learned to do is fiddle with the sizes and also just the resolution in order to be able to get it to the point where it's accepted. Now, the rules around tile creation are that it is a perfect square. And as far as I'm going to actually read it here. Your artwork must be a JPEG, a PNG, or a GIF file, and it must be a perfect square, at least 1600 by 1600 pixels. iTunes recommends images to be 3000 by 3000 pixels. And it's really important that if you have anything on Amazon On Demand, your artwork must be exactly 16 by 1600 pixels. However, what often will happen, and you will find this over and over again, is that you will do 3000 by 3000, it will be a perfect square, but the content will be too big, and so you will come out with too many megabytes. Your podcasting platform will require you to have under a certain meg. So it might only allow you a single 1 meg in terms of being able to actually upload that artwork. And that artwork that you upload to your podcasting platform is going to be the artwork that is going to be accepted on iTunes. So you might find that while you do it perfectly and it's a perfect square and it says all the right things, iTunes just goes, no, 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 no. And I've had that quite a few times happen to me. And I literally just go back, I recreate it, I squash it down, always keeping it to a square, but making sure that the megabyte is lower or that the artwork the resolution is a little bit less. I suggest, depending on what you do and what your podcast is about, it's either you're the most important person for the podcast, or the podcast title is the most important thing, or your business is the most important thing. So work out up front, and you would have done this with your title already, your name, the name of your podcast, what it is that is the most important. So my name is obviously really important, and my name Natascha Moy because I'm known for podcasting. So I'm going to have that somewhere on my tile, on my square bit of artwork. And not only that, I want the title of my product, so of my podcast. So that, and also I like to include the tagline, which is the description of the actual title of the podcast. So it would be the dialogue. Interviews with Remarkable People by Natascha Moy. And then I would have a picture of myself because, that's what we do. We put pictures of ourselves up on our tiles. But there are many, many that don't. And there are many that just have a beautiful square with some really great artwork. Now, this is something you don't have to spend any money on. You can go into Canva, which is free software online, Canva. And you can actually create your tile. They will give you square options. You can make a custom tile. You can drag your picture. You can drag in your logo. You don't even need a logo if you don't want to have one. You can just use one of their actual templates and you can recreate that tile. It's there as an identification process so that people know what it is. But I have seen some horrible ones. I have seen some incredible ones. And I think whatever you do is acceptable. Recently, I saw one and I actually gave the person a bit of feedback. I'm not sure that was necessarily taken very well, but one of the things that's really important is to make sure that if you're going to have your own picture on there, it's not necessarily a picture that you love of yourself. It's a picture that other people will connect with. So this stance, like this, is often not particularly good. And what I've got is my arms crossed across my chest. That is a real barrier to entry when you cross your body off in any way. Arms up, arms across. You need to be in an open stance so that you are welcoming and open. Don't be uncomfortable about smiling on your thing or having something that just makes you look very personable. You might be like, oh, I don't think I look so pretty or whatever. Most men don't really care what they look like, but women are a little bit more particular. If you really feel like you need to, just do 1,000 selfies of yourself in a whole lot of different lights and just see how that comes out. Do a black and white picture of yourself if that looks a little bit better. And I suggest getting a logo done. If you want to, you can do that really cheaply on Fiverr, and then that becomes part of that tile experience. But create it because that is what you are going to use, and it's going to go up on everything. It's going to be on all your social media. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on iTunes. It's going to be on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on everything. So it will either mimic your brand or it will basically be presenting you for a very long time. And so make sure that that tile is something you are really, really comfortable with up front and you really like. And make sure that your name stands out and your tagline stands out. It's more important to be read and seen than it is to be creative. You're not an artist. You are a voice artist, and it's unnecessary to need something that is incredibly beautiful or costs you an absolute fortune. Do this cheap, do this fast, and you will create a podcast. And just commit to it and go forward. So you've been listening to Natascha. I am trying to help teach people how to create podcasts so that they can listen to my podcasts and my YouTube videos and get an idea about the different elements that are really important. But I teach podcasting, I coach one-to-one, I do workshops. I have been for a long time. I've interviewed over 2,000 people in my 11-year career, and both live and pre-recorded. So I do have a bit of an idea of how these things go, but it's sometimes so fast moving. It moves really, really quickly even for me. But hop onto my website, powerofpodcasting.com.au, if you want to subscribe for potentially a workshop, or if you want to do some one-to-one coaching, which I love to do. And you can book a discovery call with me there. So I will be talking about some more other fantastic topics. I have spoken about a whole host of them. If you want to link back to my page, you can have a look at the different things that I am sharing info on. And we will be talking about some more fantastic topics coming up.